I love this woman. This person. I don't want to say person. I have to say her name. Durriya. Doesn't that sound beautiful? Durriya. Well, Durriya is the recipient of the Sacramento Hero Award for Humanitarian Services. She has served as president of the Sacramento Interfaith Service Bureau and is the co-founder of the Women's Interfaith Network. She's a recipient of the SALAM Distinguished Award for her interfaith and community services. Please put your hands together and welcome Durriya Syed.
Assalamu alaikum. I greet you all with Muslim greeting. May peace be upon all of you who are here and all of the world who is out there. After absorbing what both of you have said, I don't know, I was more in the magic of listening than speaking. Thank you for having me today. I was a speaker in, I believe, May, sometime, March. It was March. And today is different time and space that I'm meeting you. It's amazing what time does to you sometimes. And I think I'm seeing you right now after two perceived loss in my life. One, my mom was there when I was speaking in March, and I lost her in May. And I don't know if I lost her. She passed. She started her new journey. So that's why I'm saying perceived, okay? But she's more stronger in me now than before. And the second loss that we just felt last week with the betrayal of lots of people, and it shook us, you know. And I call it perceived loss also, because I don't think I have claimed that loss as my loss, because that's the journey that we all have to be together. And I think that journey is already bringing everybody together, you know. So those are the two things that I see you after. I presented last time my choice to build human spirits. And I shared with everybody my journey, that journey was a divine appointment, as we say. It's like one thing led to the other. And those journeys were also some of the perceived loss that was built on. And that made me think. These gatherings make you think beyond what you want to think, make you uncomfortable, that you don't want to go to that place, but then gives you comfort to come to that place. And that's what I have built, and I want to build my life moving forward, is what Rumi said, that we are ourselves. So there is a genome to all of us. And then we have a soul that's connected with us. And every soul has a genome too. But it is this divine spirit that is out there that doesn't have a genome, because it is for all of us to share. But in order to add to it and become asset to that divinity that's out there, we have to make our connection with our soul, then to add that divinity to become a whole. And that's the journey that it took me so many years of my life to understand and to come to what I am today. I am an immigrant, like most of you, or most of your forefathers were, or foremothers were, you know. I am one of them. I immigrated to this country through an arranged marriage. I'm born and raised in Pakistan, and I was having a great time, I think. And there is a path. You are this age, then you go to high school, then you go to college, and at some time you have to find a partner. The culture that I come from is parents find a partner for you. So my parents found my partner, and So I asked this question before, and I'll ask again. So how many of you took your vows to get married to somebody and then met that person after that? So I'm one of them. I'm one of those that my husband came to Pakistan. He was already got his degree here, and he came to Pakistan and said to his mom that, I want to marry, but I don't, you find girls for me, but don't say yes to anybody until I see, or I get to see that person. And he came along with his mom, and I did not know that was the purpose of his visit. So I came and I served him drink, a soda, and he's not one of the person who likes tea, and that's the only common thing that me and my husband have, that we don't drink tea. So that's our marriage is whole, So, and I come from a place called Karachi, and Karachi is known that if you cut anybody finger of a Karachiite, it will be tea, not blood, because that's how much tea culture is it. So he doesn't, so I served him soda and I went back, and after he left, my mom said that, do you have anybody in mind that you want to marry? And I'm like, and she said, the guy who was here, he's proposing for your hand, and I think it's a good proposal to accept. And I'm like, Mom, was I allowed to see anybody? I mean, you're asking me if I have somebody. I haven't even started thinking. I was 19 at that time. And my mom said, do you want to see him? And I said, no, because I come from the culture. We trusted our parents. So after a year, he came back to America. I was in Pakistan. After a year, he went back. We got married. And Pakistani marriage, or our marriage, has a paper thing where you sign that you are married, So it's done in front of the people. So most of the time, in my case, that I appointed my brother to be my lawyer. So he became my lawyer to ask my husband if he will accept my proposal. So it's played in a way that it's going from me. It didn't, but it plays in a way that it's coming from the bride. And so he asked, and that's how we got married. So after that, after we get married, and we are still separated, we still haven't seen each other. So we signed the paper, and then I come to the stage, and he's waiting for me on the stage, and then all the ceremony starts. So the first time I saw him, there is a mirror that at that time, now it's not that prevalent tradition, that there will be a mirror that will be put in the lap of the bride and groom, and you see yourself in the mirror first. So that's the first time that I saw him. And that's the choice made by my parents. So as a human being, which I want to share, is we make choices. Other creatures of God don't. And that's why, according to the Islamic faith, it's called Ashraful Makhluqat, where you are above all the creatures because you are given that honor of making choices. You are trusted with that honor of making choices. So there are choices, some of the choices we're making, but there are some of the choices somebody else is making for us. So the choices that we made, we are responsible for that. When the choice is made by the other, we are responsible for handling those choices. So both ways, it's our job to deal with the choices we made and the choices made for us. And that's where a very interesting concept comes of choice and destiny. Like my mom, I knew that she will wait for my brother to come from Pakistan. I knew it was in my heart that she will fight. But when will she give up the fight was not up to us. What's up to God or the Creator or the divinity up there. So we were just hoping for that divinity would let Mom be the winner in this case. So that's the part that we don't know. We just fight. We just do our best. And then we leave it rest to the Creator, to the spiritual being, to the person who is in charge of all of us. And that's the part of philosophy Rumi talks about. Rumi is that the story of human being is like, human soul is like a flute. And according to him, human spirit was part of divine soul before it descended to this world. Because of its separation from the divine soul, the human soul feels restless, and we are always trying to find our purpose of life and the meaning in life. And that's the search that makes us make choices, accept choices, and move with whatever is going forward. My journey is, when I came here, so many things shaped me. I was an immigrant. People of America was my first love, not the land. As you said, I didn't want it to be here for a long time. I wanted to come here and get my education and go back to the country that raised me and serve that country. But we kept on thinking we'll go back until my daughter was born. And literally in the hospital room, my husband said, I want her to be brave and bold, and we are staying. She is too brave and too bold. But that's what our journey was. At that time, we decided to live here, and our life was going very good and meaningful. But still, we were in our own bubble. The thing that took us out of that bubble was 9/11. It was a horrific tragedy. And like my son, if he was here, he would say, media put me in a cage, won't set me free. But we live life peacefully. So that was our journey of telling everybody that, American Muslims are peaceful people. And at that time, there were two choices. We stay here or pack up and leave. But staying here meant dealing with other people also, getting out of your comfort zone, being uncomfortable, and taking comfort in that uncomfortableness. And with all the bad things 9/11 did, this was the best thing. I get to see people who were not like me, people who cared about me despite how I look like, people who will challenge me that I shouldn't be here, and I will tell them, why not? And my mentor was Faith Moran. When 9/11 happened, Spiritual Life Center reached out to us. And at that time, Faith was like, why can't you be spiritual? And I'm like, because I don't cover my hair. And she's like, so what? And I think that so what stays with me. So what? I don't cover my hair. But I will define my spirituality. I will define my relationship with God. And I don't give this right to anybody else to do that. Amen. So that's what brought me to the world of serving people. So what happened after 9/11, whatever our kids were doing and wherever we want them to be safe, we went with them. And that's the journey that opened so many churches, so many synagogues, so many temples, so many people's heart. And that's the thing that really built us. That's the thing that really built us, led to our inner growth. And that's what I was looking at Pat where I said, oh God, this is so all of us, There was an inner growth, and we are starting to bloom. But this thing, the perceived loss that we just experienced, will help us reach our best. And that's when you have already seen people are connecting with each other. And we are not victims. We cannot be victims. But the only thing that we did was we felt we were thriving. We had the perception of thriving. We were not thriving. We were surviving because we have made, for whatever actions, right or not wrong, some people in this country very fearful, very insecure. And right now also, for last few weeks, we are talking to the people who we are comfortable with. But it's time to be uncomfortable again. It's time to listen to their fears again. It's time to start taking that energy back and putting it back into that divinity. Start reconnecting to our soul again, and purpose of the meaning was not to just to sit with the people that we are comfortable with. It's just not going to do us any good. So that's the thing that I want to do moving forward. And I know I can count on all of you doing that moving forward. And that's the thing where we will thrive. That's the thing that from victim to survivor to thriving. Right now, we feel what has just happened. It's a shock. This is the first time my kids felt that they were betrayed, they were robbed, they are alone. And they did say that we should go back. And I am one of the person, I say that with embarrassment, confess that with embarrassment, who said, if this person was elected, I will move out of this country. But you know what? No, I'm not. Because if I move out, does African American move out? Which country will they go to? Which country would everybody go to? I'm not moving out. I'm staying more here than ever. With more confidence, with more determination, because 9/11 was our growth thing, and that has taught us to how to move forward by loving people, by keeping your purpose of life alive, by connecting your soul, and by continuing to give to this ball of spirituality or divinity, where we will meet people before who have done good, and people after us, and people with us doing good in this country. Thank you so much.
Who's ready to give her a standing ovation? Questions and comments?
No, let me introduce it. Well said, Durriya. And now we're going to have question and answers. Anyone that has questions for her? Yes, and wait until I give you the mic, otherwise it won't be on tape. And
JG said something about an interfaith women's group. Can you say a little bit about that and when it meets?
So I was part of Interfaith Service Bureau. I served decade after 9/11 as Interfaith Service Bureau. And so we also formed a group called Women Interfaith Network. And we thought that, you know what, we have given men enough time to get this world together. They have not done a good job. So let's take it back from them. And with their support, of course, and with their love, of course. But we did that for a few years, but we have to bring it back, actually, because Interfaith was having a struggle surviving themselves, so we focused on that. But lots of people are talking about bringing Women Interfaith group in action, and it is also a very nice acronym to that, WIN, WIN. So, you know, and I never said W and V right, and I apologize that. I keep on telling myself it's both and woman, but when I say it the other way around, so I apologize. Yeah.
All right, who has a microphone?
Thank you.
Who would like to give Durriya a praise, a comment, a thought? Who wants to just tell her they think she's wonderful?
I not only think you're wonderful, I know you're wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm just curious to know, I'm so impressed with the courage to move ahead without wearing the traditional covering of your hair. What are the consequences to you for making that choice, and how have you responded to them?
So that's a very good question, and it's a personal choice basically. So it was a 10 minutes thing, so I didn't go in detail. My mom always covered her hair, and she always covered her face. Okay, also she was and my dad didn't care actually. It was not imposed by my dad or the culture. That was her personal choice. I do cover my hair sometimes when the media is there, because that's the only way I will get attention as a Muslim woman. So I do cover my hair. When because I get 2 minutes to a media, because that's the way media wants to see me Muslim. That's the way my community wants to. Most of my community wants to see me as a Muslim. So I get little bit more from the family, that my family would be really happy if I have covered my hair. And also my community also. There are times where, for me, covering hair is one level of more modesty. I went to a Catholic school, and our nuns always were in habit, okay? So it was more like that. If my mother did it, it was not a different thing for me, but I always thought that once you do that, you have to be extra nice and extra special. And I don't want to be in a microscope. Like if I wear my traditional clothing, I am very nicer than usual self, okay? I felt pressure. I do feel pressure that if I do that, everything will be okay in my community, but still I'm not there. And lots of women who are doing it by personal choice. And when we were trained to do it for modesty, kids who are doing it here and otherwise, they are doing it for identity. So it's not about modesty. It's like I can do everything, makeup, everything, but I will cover myself because I'm a Muslim and people need to know I'm a Muslim, and so it's more an identity thing now. And they do it beautifully for their identities.
Hello. I'm not familiar with your work, but I'm so glad I was here today. I loved what you had to say about especially having the uncomfortable conversations and reaching out to create a wider community. And I'm wondering how we can work with you and what type of support you could use in the work that you do. So people have been asking this a lot, and the best part is that I was going to say, and I lost the train of that we are in California. We are going to lead now. The human spirit, resiliency that we have. And just asking that questions means a lot. That means that there are people we can count on. And I think as a community, we are working on it. When you see people going through that, or from my community, or African American, or Latinos, just be there and be present with them and ask them what they want and how we can help you in that endeavor. And basically just being there and telling them right now, being there, because right now we are in the process of healing and processing. And after that, just joining all the causes that will be there after that, if we want to, we have to keep check and balance moving forward. So if anything goes wrong, where we are inviting people all to come and support us, be there. We have CARE as a chapter here for Islamic relations, to guiders and leaders. But just ask. And my phone number is with RJ, and it's open to everybody. And just call us and ask, and we'll guide you what you're doing right.
Thank you, Durriya. Thank you. Guys, put your hands together for Durriya. Again, thank you so much.